This is Ben Davison. Subscribe to Steve Nightcom.
I mean, it's great. The one with the gloves was insane, and the one about Mark Breland, his corner man, giving him putting something in his water is absurd. I mean, just totally off the chart.
Yeah. Have you spoken to Shelly Finkel about any of this since?
No, I don't talk with Shelly Finkel.
Oh, do you not?
No, I don't like Shelly Finkel.
Fair enough.
But we've mentioned it to the Wilder people, the technocrats with PVC
Right.
are pretty nice people.
Okay.
So I mean, they were disgusted with it as well.
Okay.
You understand? I don't know if I've discussed this with you. Let's take the gloves.
Yeah.
Now, that he said that Fury loaded the gloves, etc., put stuff in his gloves and so forth. Now, the fight was in Nevada. Now, Nevada has a procedure to prevent anything tampering with the gloves or putting anything in the glove. And the procedure is this. After the weigh-in, they lay out 4 pairs of gloves. And each fighter picks his set of gloves and signs it, set number 1. Then they pick up their other set number 2, and they sign it. Then the commission takes the gloves, and the gloves are locked in a safe in the commission office, and they come out the night of the fight and handed to 2 inspectors, one for Wilder and one for Fury. The glove number 1 for each guy. Now, the glove is then delivered by the inspector in the dressing room to each fighter. There's another inspector there, and in the presence of both inspectors, the fighter's gloved up. So the idea that any tampering with the gloves is absurd. Now, if it was in another jurisdiction, there might be a possibility that it could happen, although it's unlikely. But in Nevada, it's impossible because the whole procedures in Nevada are designed to prevent just that from happening. So the fact that he said that the gloves were tampered with and something was put in them in Nevada, it's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
If this was in Abu Dhabi, let's say, and he made that allegation, which would not be true, Fury would deny it and so forth, but would there be a possibility? Yeah, there would be a possibility. But in Nevada, there's no possibility.
Yeah. Well, on top of that, you've got Deontay Wilder's other manager and trainer, JD's, was watching Fury get his hands wrapped and gloved up.
Exactly correct. In addition to the two inspectors.
Yeah. And I was watching something a little while ago, and I did a clipping of it, which is at Fox Sport, when they were showing the dressing room. Wilder had some different gloves mailed in from FedEx moments before the ring walk.
I didn't know anything about that. That can't be. That's bullshit.
Well, that's what like a Fox
That's
Sport
bullshit. That can't be. That's impossible. The commission wouldn't allow him to use those gloves.
Well, there was a commissioner in there with him who was overseeing the gloves with Mark Breland. So, I mean, everything was fine with him. I'm sure they were.
No. You couldn't. You have to. The only gloves you're allowed to use are those gloves that are signed at the weigh-in.
And what do you think of his accusations about Mark Breland. Do you know Mark Breland? Have you had much dealing with him?
Mark Breland, yeah. I mean, first of all, forget that it's Mark Breland. Your own corner guy who's invested in you. The fact that he would spike your water is totally absurd. He's for you. He's not for the other guy. And then if you say it's Mark Breland, anybody who knows Mark Breland knows what a fine person he is. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, it would have been more believable if he said that Fury's friend was around and stalking them, and he must have put something in the water. That's certainly more plausible than Mark Breland, his own cornerman, spiking his water.
Yeah. And what's the other one? Oh, the referee was drunk as well. That was the other one.
Wasn't that terrible? Isn't that terrible?
I know.
The referee saved them from getting killed.
I agree. I mean, he says that the referee was on Tyson's side, but didn't the referee dock a point off Tyson?
Yeah. The referee was. If any side the referee was on, it was on Wilder's side.
That's right.
But he wasn't on any side. He's a terrific referee.
No, I agree. So where would you put these excuses for a loss in your dealings with boxing?
Well, I think those are the excuses. I've never heard it as preposterous as this. Never. I've heard excuses that are totally crazy, where the guy said that he got up in the morning and he was sick, but he didn't let anybody know that he was sick, and he went into the fight, he got knocked out because he was sick. I've heard those kind of excuses, but this type of excuse, I haven't heard anything like it. I mean, total. And what about the costume that he picked out and he was wearing? Sapped his strength.
Oh my God!
So again, something. But also, you got to look back. I didn't know that, and maybe it's true, maybe it's not true. But there has to be some type of deficiency mentally or in his character. But it never came out because look at his record. He had never lost a fight.
Mm-hmm.
And he had knocked out his opponents and so forth. And I think that his actions after this fight may very well expose his true character.
I agree. I totally agree. And I heard that, I know Tyson said it a little while ago, but I heard that recently he told you the same, that Tyson, under no circumstances, is going to fight Wilder again after all this.
Right. What happened was the contract, in any reading of the contract, was that the time for the fight had expired by its terms. And they then sought mediation from a mediator who's a very, very nice fellow, Dan Weinstein, a former judge. And remember, it's mediation.
Mm-hmm.
So Dan was trying over the Christmas holiday to get a solution. And we came up with a possible solution to allow the Fury-Joshua fight to happen, and then Fury, if he won, would fight Wilder. When I presented that possible solution to Fury, Tyson really let loose that under no circumstances that he considered it a terrible attack on his character, an attack on the travel of people, and under no way, he said, not today, not tomorrow, not ever am I ever going to fight Wilder.
I'll say fair. That's fair enough. Absolutely fair enough.
So, yeah.
Well, as far as the mediation is concerned, Shelly Finkel spoke to somebody today, I forget who it was, saying that it's now going to arbitration. No idea what that means, but...
Well, the contract provides, which contract is not in effect, that after mediation, either side can go to arbitration. But that was a while ago, a week or so ago, and they haven't even thought to go to arbitration. Why? Because they have pretty good lawyers, and no lawyer worth his salt is going to go and make a claim that that contract is still in effect. It's one thing in a mediation to use that to work out some type of arrangement, but to go in and to argue that the contract is still valid, trust me, I'm a lawyer. I'm practicing law. Absolutely not even a shred of validity. So, again, it just would be throwing good money after bad.
Okay, so basically Wilder has no leg to stand on then, really.
That is correct. That is 100% correct.